All right, so we're gonna start our match review section for tonight, where we try to review games, try and help people improve at the video game. This is Nord, homie that's in the chat almost every single day. Very, very good people to have around. Homie is on Garden of Joy, which is probably the most killer-sided map in the game. Or not killer-sided, the opposite. The most survivor-sided map in the game. I said it reversed. So that's working against you, especially as a character that, like Doctor, who is alright, but not particularly strong. So let's go ahead and take a look at your add-ons, which I'll probably have to look up, not because I don't know what they are, but because like they all look the same. For the most part, they're just file. They are file, and I'm like, well, which file is that? And your build. Holy killer sign map, yeah. Earn a pain. I like that Luna calls it, Lunar Girl calls it Garden of Soy. Pretty funny. Is that okay? Okay, so you got range. Range is always really, really good. This is you're running restraint. I feel like, yeah, this is actually restraint. So this is like, range is good. Range is good on Doctor because it helps you control your loops more. Restraint, I feel like restraint is kind of like the most underwhelming of the like the Doctor like add-on trees. I think that like having a little bit more aura reading is like helpful if you don't have aura reading on your build, or you're going without aura reading, but you have ultimate weapon. So you have an aura reading, or not aura reading perk, but you have an info perk. So like I would have much rather seen discipline or like do calm, stuff like that. Especially since you're doing like unnerving presence, and merciless storm. So yeah, you could have potentially picked a better add-on slot for that first one. In terms of your build, you have kind of cohesive, but also kind of not. You have ultimate weapon, which is essentially what your static blast does, which is interesting. So you have an info perk, a pretty good one. You have Dead Man's to try and get value out of both your power and ultimate weapon. Unnerving presence is just kind of like not a good perk. I get that like on a Doctor you can like commit to like a full whatchamacallit, like a full skill check build, but like you're not doing that. So ultimate unnerving presence feels just kind of like tacked on. Merciless Storm, you have it only at rank 1. Usually it's a very, very good Doctor perk, but like at rank 1 it's kind of, yeah, so just keep that in mind. Also, weapon is a waste. Well, it's good to have some sort of info perk, especially if you're still like learning and emerging. So yeah, so just keep that in mind. Which one does restraint do? It's the aura reading one when people tear up. I mean, there is something to be possibly said for like, you know, saving your static blast when you know you're gonna hit a ton of people, because your shock therapy only does half a tier, whereas static blast does a full tier. So you can kind of like try to synergize it to get us like a lot of like madness tier ups. That was a very, very quick first chase. That is very good for you. What did you alt him? Okay, I think you alt him. He had a very, very quick first chase. It's good. Now I would try to like static blast to get value out of here. Okay. Yeah, okay, so like static blast is not just something that you need to use as a tool for like locating people. That's its primary function. But like I was saying a second ago, shock therapy only does half a tier of madness, whereas static blast is a full tier of madness. So you should be using your static blast to try and like up their madness more often, especially when you already know somebody is for sure here. You haven't used it once, so you gotta get your madness tier ups going, especially when you're using restraint, where like this perk doesn't, or this add-on does not go off unless you're tearing up their madness. The fact that you haven't put any effort into doing that yet is not the best, so keep that in mind. Especially, yeah, there you go. Good. There's no reason to swing there. Yeah, but I say you did see someone earlier. There you go. See, now they're all up a tier, which is good. Yeah, I feel like that's like a combo as old as time. If you're in this situation where somebody sabos and it's kind of obvious that they have like breakout and stuff and they start following you, it's always better to just drop the survivor. Because unless there's just another hook nearby, which happens sometimes. Sometimes there's just another hook like right there. It's better to just drop the other survivor and go for the guy that just saboed. Because you're just going to drop them anyway. And breakout's going to make him kick out. Kick out. Why did I just use a wrestling term? Yeah, see. Yeah, it was better to just drop and chase the other person. You're on Garna Joy and you somehow didn't find, like, anything to loop? Like, why? Bongmin, come on now. Yes, he's already going there. You need to just chase. You need to drop. There you go. Because he's getting so much value right now. Meanwhile, the others are just cranking gens. Your chases are good, but like you're letting the you decided way too late to do that. You're letting this SABO guy sauce on you. I would have chased Dwight there. Because he's going in the main building of that's why range is good, by the way. You're gonna start chasing in main building of Garna Joy. Like that's You could have hit that if you were more patient. You got impatient there. You would have hit him going through the window if you would just tailgate him a little bit more. Yeah, so we got an extra loop there. That's one of the tiny macro things that's important as killer. Is that not taking chases at like really bad loops. Like if somebody's like intentionally taking you to main building, a shack like that, like sometimes it's better to just like go for the easier chase. I'd say a lot of the time it's just better to go for the easier chase, even if it's like 2 health states. You know, like Dwight was healthy, but like he didn't have anything to really work with where he was. Whereas like chasing somebody into main, Garna Joy main, wasted a lot of time. Match time is gen time. Hey Prometheus, we're doing our match reviews. I'm not fully against the idea of using ultimate weapon on Doctor because, like, you know, if you open the locker, you see a lot of people around nearby, you can static blast and tear everybody up really quickly because, you know, static blast is one full tier of madness. It is a little redundant, but I can see the logic. Good catch there. Yeah, because like now you're at essentially at 2 gens with only 2 hooks. Because that gen's 99. Just not great. Yeah. Yeah, the illusory doctors being there longer, that's not helpful at all. You've also been playing a very, like, fair game of Dead by Daylight so far. Like, you're not really, like, proxying or tunneling or doing anything. Which, on Garna Joy, with not that strong of a build or add-ons, that's, like, not that strong of a character, you're kind of feeling it. You're kind of feeling it. Like, perfect example there, what you could have done is, the weapon was off cooldown. You could have procced ultimate weapon, saw nobody was there, and save your static blast. Like, that would be kind of like the idea of like why you would run that on Doctor. But you're not doing that, so it's like... Because then you could have saved your static blast for when you knew you were around people. I know, it's one of those things, it's like a debate thing, right? Like that, you know, different killer players feel different about. It's like running a bunch of chase perks on an anti-chase killer, for example. Like, some people like doing that because they like super doubling down on something they're already good at. I usually err on the side of the opposite, where I'm like, make something that's a little bit more rounded out, fill in the weaknesses in your character's base kit with your perks. But some people are like that. Some people like doubling down on what your character's already good at. Yeah, you should have expected that and static blasted him, just to avoid that from happening. I didn't hit him. Interesting. Excuse me, sorry. Ooh. Why the BM? What did he do? Yeah, I don't think your chases aren't particularly long, but like your you let that SABO guy really like sauce on you a lot early. That you waste a lot of time, and then like after he's double SABO'd, you chased him through main, which wastes a lot of time too. See, this is good because you know most people are here. Yeah, this match is essentially over because they have 2 gens 99. That was very unfortunate. Like, that was like the main thing that caused you to lose. Because your chases honestly aren't bad. Yeah, he's gonna get that. You could have potentially hit that. I would have swung that. Just to see. Because the pal's coming down anyway, you might as well try. Show you what I deal with on a daily basis? Okay, Blackguard. We'll watch it. Thanks, Shadow. I appreciate it. You do that to other people or just me? Just have a great stream. I do that to other people too. Yeah, he's taking you to Shack too. So once again, you're here with that. Okay, this time you know. This time you're like, okay. He's going to a really good part of the map with really good resources. So I'm not gonna follow him in there. Yeah, there is something to potentially be said about Ultimate Weapon and Doctor, but like you're not doing it, so it is just kind of like completely redundant. This Ashe is the reason you lost this game. It's kind of funny. Like, this player in particular is why you lost. Which is interesting. Some of it is, like, your reactions to... Like, we'll talk about it. Your reactions to him... Like, you basically played into his plan, into his playbook. Likely what he wanted to happen. You don't get that person. You can force him out. Yeah, you can force him out. Not the Dwight dropping the pallet on his way out, like he wasn't like the easiest to chase in the game. Okay. Okay, so in terms of your main takeaways for this, it was interesting. I think like I said, it's kind of funny because the main reason you lost this is because of multiple things that Ashe baited you into that you fell for, and he wasted so much time in this match that he allowed the rest of his team to get the gens done and leave. which is funny that one player had such a big impact. First takeaway is you seem to not know yet, keyword yet, on how to handle SABO plays. So when somebody comes up in SABOs, you know, if you're carrying somebody up to a hook, they're SABOing, obviously try to hit them at the very least if they're in front of the hook. In a lot of these cases, and I would say every case this match, you kind of weren't in a position to do that because he was SABOing from pretty far away, which is not your fault. So, but that is just general advice. The main thing that you did wrong is almost always like a 99% certainty. So when somebody's doing a SABO play, they're doing a SABO build, they have breakout, which means that they're going to follow you around and the survivor on your shoulder is going to wiggle out quicker. So if they do successfully pull off the SABO save, unless there is a hook like literally like right next to the other one that just got SABO'd, you're not going to be able to stop them from the breakout. So it's better in that scenario to just drop the survivor and chase the SABOer so they can't continue to SABO save. And you kind of let him sauce on you a bit. You let him save twice, and you made the same mistake twice of not just dropping the person you were carrying to just, you know, chase him. And when you finally did end up doing that, he took you in a main building. And this is where we're going to get into your second takeaway, which is, especially when you're playing a character that's not as like aggressively strong in chase, like Doctor, chasing into very, very strong structures, whether that be a main building or shack, can be very, very detrimental to you. So it's better, especially in that situation that we had in the middle of the match, where you had the option between Dwight and Ash, that you chose to chase Ash through the main building of Garden of Joy, which is one of the strongest main buildings in the game. That was a choice. That was a choice of all time. And it was a decision that ended up wasting a ton of time, and match time is gen time. Thankfully, the second time you tried to chase Ash, he ended up going to shack, and you drop chase because you saw he was going to shack. But even in that in-between chase that happened, he took you to the parking lot loop, which is also really, really good. So Ash only exclusively went to like the safest and strongest loops in this on this map consistently, and you took the bait and chased him like every single time. Which is obviously is, you know, match time is gen time. So you were wasting a lot of time chasing him through very, very strong structures. So I would have prioritized people in more unsafe loops, like Dwight in that one scenario where they both popped off that gen. Dwight was heading towards a long, an L wall T wall, which was way, way weaker than like Ash going into main building. So prioritize chases that are in weaker tiles over the ones that are going towards like big tiles that are very, very strong. I'd say that was like the main two things you lost in this match. The other stuff is mostly miscellaneous, like you just kind of like not understanding how to get synergy out of static blast and ultimate weapon and kind of using one or the other at like bad times. Obviously you could use a way, way stronger build, but if you're still getting teachables on him, that's not necessarily your fault. So I'm not going to make that its own thing, but do keep in mind that that also played a role in why this match went the way it did. Yeah, I think those are the two main things. You didn't really know how to counterplay, you really didn't know how to counterplay SABO plays, and you also kept taking chases in really strong loops, which wasted a lot of time.